Hello everyone, it's thomasjujube and welcome to 2023 at long last. Usually I like to make my first video of the year a little Q&A video about 2023. You can get to know me if you're new to the channel. It kind of sets the stage for the rest of the year, just kind of putting myself out there a bit. But obviously, I did a separate video before this, which was about 2022, and I took way too long on it. I'm very sorry, but that's out, and it's about 2022. So now it's actually like 2023, a month late. I'm actually considering it a new year. So usually I start this with like my reflection on the year before, and then look at the year ahead in terms of tokusatsu. But I kind of already looked at the year before and ahead in a different video. So in this video, I'm not really going to do that. We're just pretty much going to go straight into the Q&A. I do want to take a second to reflect on 2022 though. From my perspective, 2022 was a bit of a weird year for me because in terms of content creation, in terms of personal life, I'm not getting into that. But in terms of content creation, like on one hand, I felt like there was like a lot more hatred towards like the YouTube side of creators, not just me, like a lot of other of my friends in the community as well. It was super weird for that. But I also felt at the same time there was like, I felt more connected to the community than ever before. Like, the big thing, for me at least, is I started last year with a face reveal. It's been kind of a wild ride. I was kind of, as you could probably tell, I was a little bit shy about showing my face on camera eventually, which is really the reason it took so long. But now that I've done it, like, I kind of felt like I've always wanted to do this, I guess. I don't know, this feels like what I've always should have done. I mean, it's easier for me to do the videos where I've got my little avatar. It's a lot of fun just sitting here and talking to you guys. The highlight as well was like Power Morphicon. Going to Power Morphicon. First of all, just going to Power Morphicon for the first time for me was pretty awesome because it's quite the experience. So many tokusatsu stuff just there. Power Rangers, Sentai Rider. Getting to see a bunch of actors from Sentai and Rider. Not Rider, just Sentai and Power Rangers. It's truly incredible, but also like people recognized me. Like I walked up to some people I've watched their videos for years, and they're like, "Oh, it's thomasjujube," and I'm like, and then some people walked up to me and were like, "Are you thomasjujube?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like people asked for pictures with me at a convention, and that was super cool. I'm getting a little bit emotional now. Oh no. It's everything in a bubble. Like I got to experience the shows and stuff that I love with the community that I've like make videos for, and I got to do it with a whole new spin on things. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what 2023 can bring. There's no Power Morphicon, but now that I'm kind of fully set in with here's me, and I'm reaching out and doing more collabs and stuff, I'm looking forward to this. So, also, one last thing. You may notice that the chair is a bit different. My usual red chair is taking a bit of a turn. Stay tuned for that. Thank you to Ewin for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into the Q&A. One last thing I want to say while we're here is that I also have an Instagram page now. I haven't been using it for much. I'll probably start trying to use it more, but I really have it here to get myself a bit more out there in different spaces. So be sure to follow that. I'll have it linked in the description from now on in case you're interested. First question is actually somewhat relevant to what I just said about Power Morphicon, as you can tell with the profile picture at least. The question from Cool Dude asks, which suit do you like more, Majin or Zenkai Majin? Definitely normal Majin. I like Zenkai Majin as well, but I really love just the robotic nature of normal Majin that the morphed version doesn't have, where she has like the faceplate and like the big piece on her forehead. Like she looks very robotic, and I really like that. Ismail Cordichel, I apologize if I said that wrong, asks, if they were going to do another Desire Royale movie inviting more Legend Riders, who would I like to see? The riders will be using Desire drivers, and what buckles would they use? I mean, they could do it with any riders, and I would love it, because I just love that crazy concept of just taking two riders from another rider show, giving them Desire drivers, and they've got the normal Desire driver system with the black entry body, and the helmets are designed after their normal rider form. So they could do that with anyone, and I'd absolutely love it. If I had to pick like who I'd actually put in, obviously I'd pick Xaid and I'd pick Saber, because I really like those characters, those designs. Actually, Den-O as well. because I think the Momotaro's like head, that would kind of work really well. Like, there's a very clear cutoff, I feel like, with that helmet that would work well. As for what buckles they'd use, I mean, Saber and Deno would have to use like Boost because they're red, and X8 would have to use Ninja because the green kind of goes with him. DM5 Anims says, if you could take part in the DGP, what would my wish be and what animal would my suit be based on? So this is not exactly me, but if you've been watching the Henshins and Dragons show series on Marcos's Henshins and Dragons channel, my OC in that is called Kamen Rider Bunny. It's a bunny themed rider, like the helmet is like kind of bunny ears, but they like look like antenna. That's basically what my design would be like. I mean, like, obviously I made the OC, so that's what I would want my rider to look like, but his wish was to like always have the DGP items and stuff, and I just kind of chose that so it would work with the lore of the show, both shows. I'd probably go with, honestly, Ace and Neon's wishes in the show are probably something that I'd go with, either like, not really famous, but like, you know, have a lot of money so I could buy all the gashets that I need, or finding true love is kind of something I'd be into. ParaDX Flare, spelled differently, says, why do you have such immaculate drip? I mean, I just wear the same red shirt and then occasionally an X-Stage shirt every video, so I don't really think I have drip, but thank you. Mochi Mochi asks, what editing software do you use? For editing, I use Adobe After Effects. I know it's not like an actual editing platform, but I just feel more comfortable using it, and it does let me do a few animation stuff. While I'm here, I might as well also address recording. For this kind of stuff, I use Streamlabs OBS, but you could also just use normal OBS. They're about the same thing. Both are free. After Effects and Premiere are both paid, but you could probably find free alternatives. And for thumbnail stuff, I use Photoshop, but again, there's probably free alternatives you could find. So that's like my 3-step design process software thing. And to upload videos, you may not know this, but I actually use a little website called youtube.com. Fotis Mavridis, I apologize again for saying it that wrong, asks, what's your favorite suit in all of Toku so far? So, this is why I like doing these kinds of videos, because, you know, most people notice, but not everyone does. It's Hyper Muteki Gamer from Kamen Rider X8, because that's, I mean, it's my favorite suit, and that's why I made it my channel avatar and stuff. I love the spikes, I love the gold and the orange, it looks super cool. I think it looks really neat. Second place would definitely be Max Ryusoul Red from Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoldier, I'm not gonna say the Power Rangers name. Red and gold is like beautiful to me, so absolutely makes an amazing suit. But I just like the design and the spikes of Muteki more. Tyman215 asks, if you were to see another anime like Futo PI, an anime sequel, which Rider season would I pick? But no X-Aid. I like that you brought up no X-Aid, but that actually wouldn't be my first pick. My first pick would be a Saber anime sequel. The world and lore of Saber is so like deep and complex to me, because they've got like this ancient rich history of all of these swordsmen, so it would be really interesting to see our show, the show that we watched, from that perspective. Now that becomes like the ancient world, so we could set an anime years in the future, and now like the swordsmen are in different occupations. We've got completely new characters. Maybe we still have Saber as a main character, but maybe now the secondary and tertiary are Buster and Asabala, because just, you know, years have changed, and maybe now Ikazuchi and Nagare are now like just on display or something like that. There's tons that you could do with a Saber sequel in general. If it had to be anime, I think it would be even cooler. A Guy asks, are you planning to watch the Ultra Galaxy Fight miniseries? I assume this is asking specifically about the Destined Crossroads one, because I haven't seen that one. So yes, I am planning to watch that one, because I already saw the other one, the Absolute Conspiracy. I forgot the name for a second, and I really enjoyed it. I really like those little Ultraman specials they do, where they just put all the Ultras in the green screen room. There's something interesting about how only Ultraman could do that. Like, I can't see Kamen Rider or Sentai doing this show where they're always morphed, but with Ultraman, like, they're just people like that. So you could do something really interesting where that's all you see. Like, there's not a single real person in those. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the Destined Crossroads. Graph asks, any goals you have for 2023, whether that be for the channel or for something personal. Either way, keep up the great work, and here's to a great year. Thank you. I don't really have, like, specific goals. Like, this is what I want to do by the end of the year. There's a few videos that I've kind of been putting off for a while, just for time reasons and stuff. I'm not going to name them specifically because I don't want to definitively say I'm doing them this year, but I am interested in maybe actually finally catching up on some of those this year. Lukeman GG asks, what's the hottest Ultraman form? Well, I mean, objectively, it's G'd solid burning, because it's solid and it's burning. But also, subjectively, I also think that's the hottest form. Marco Satsu asks, how many jujubes are hiding in your closet? That we don't need to worry about that, actually. Just... Neurotoxin asks, what are your hopes and notes for Osama Sentai King Oger? Also, what is your favorite Sentai handoff? Hopes and notes. Honestly, I mean, hope is just, I want it to be good. I want to enjoy it. But usually I end up enjoying a lot of stuff, even if I don't think it's very good. Actually, I just remembered, a hope I would really, really like, / a nope, is I'd really like the team to just be united for the whole show. I love donbrothers, obviously, and I do actually enjoy the thing with Inuzaki not being part of the team. But I kind of would like to go back to a Sentai season where maybe they're not all, like, on good terms, but at least they're all, like, a team that changes together most of the time. On the similar note, I would really like to get roll calls again. They don't have to do, like, crazy roll calls. I just really want a super badass roll call, and I think I'll be happy. The entire show will be good if we get a really, really, really awesome roll call. Favorite Sentai handoff would be Zenkaiser to donbrothers, because it's kind of not a handoff. They just, like, hold hands because Zenkaiser was still in donbrothers, kind of. Cinna Takeover asks, you started your channel when Kyuranger was airing, and now that 6 years have passed, Jesus Christ, and you've grown exponentially, what's your opinion on Kyuranger now? Well, I haven't seen Kyuranger since it ended, but I still pretty much like it. I mean, I haven't really gotten any more negative on it. I still really like how we got such a huge group of rangers and they all got a little bit of characterization. It's also just a cool novelty. And I also like how, despite it was like a space season, we got all the rangers in space or something, they still did stuff like time travel. We had a time travel plot with like 2 ongoing stories, which is a really interesting way to utilize the big team, split it into 2 teams. I thought that was really interesting. Wesley Kim asks my thoughts on buying some Kamen Rider model kits, and have I given any thoughts on making more Kamen Rider costumes like the ones I made for Halloween a while back. You should check that video out. It has a little face reveal in it, but I hadn't had a face reveal yet, so that was awkward. I've always wanted the X8 and Den-O model kits because I like X8 and Den-O in terms of suit, in terms of show, and I just never get around to buying them. I'll probably never make a Halloween costume like that again. If I ever made a costume like that, it would be for cosplay at like a convention, which is something I do really want to do at some point. I'd really like to cosplay like Muteki, either gold Muteki or my red Muteki. But I kind of looked into it, and it's really a lot of work to make a cosplay. And for me, I would really like to make my cosplay. Something about paying someone else to make the whole costume for me. Just, maybe I will do it eventually. I'll just get bored and I'll finally do it. The helmet, I would ask someone to make a helmet for me, because that's like the most important part. If I get a helmet, maybe I'll just wear the helmet at Morphicon or in a video. I'll start like every video now wearing the helmet. That would be really funny. A teen that likes Toku asks, what Kamen Rider, excluding X8, would I wish to see in the future, and what Sentai actors and actresses would I like to see in Power Morphicon 2024? The question does say, I didn't say it out loud because I'm dumb. The Blu-ray. What Blu-ray would I like to see? I guess any of my favorite shows. So like Build, Den-O, Saber would be really cool. Geats, even though Geats is currently airing, I'd definitely buy a Geats Blu-ray. And obviously X8's #1, but you know, the question already knew that. I feel like the second part would be obvious for me, but what Sentai actresses would I like to see at Power Morphicon? If any of the 3 actresses that played Majin in Zenkaiger, either suit actress, voice actress, human actress, went to Power Morphicon, I would probably disintegrate based off the announcement alone from my excitement, because that would be just meeting them would be a dream come true. I'd take a picture with the plushie and them. I'd probably move heaven and earth to get in contact with the Morphicon itself, to have the panel, be on the panel with them. I'd probably cry when I meet them in person, so maybe it's for the best because I don't want to embarrass myself. Ryugen asks if I've ever thought of making an Ultraman OC. Kind of. I mean, I've thought, it would be kind of cool to have a dude who's, the host of Orb. So Guy is stuck as Ultraman Orb, and he's in someone else's body, so it's kind of like Ultraman Zet. It's kind of a random idea I thought of, which is like Ultra Woman Majiro, where you've got, a human host, and then you've got, the Ultraman woman. I mean, Ultra Woman is, again, it's like a Zet situation. And then the Ultra Woman has, a specific voice actress and suit actress to go with the specific human actress. I think that would be pretty cool. And they could have, a magic staff changer weapon thing. Archangel Amber asks, my favorite Super Sentai original soundtrack to listen to. I forget if original soundtrack specifically refers to the inserts only, or the background music only, or both. Either way, it doesn't really matter because it's Zenkaiger. I mean, the inserts include Nu 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 Majin, so I kind of have to put that at number one. And the background music has that one track from the morph. Every time they morph, basically, that's my favorite piece of music almost in all of Tokusatsu. That's not a insert theme. It's truly an amazing piece of music. So definitely that soundtrack. And I also forgot that the composer for that passed away recently, so rest in peace. Thank you for contributing something so beautiful. Pika asks, will I try to branch out from the big three to stuff like indie tokusatsu, tokusatsu like anime, etc.? I kind of already branched out to tokusatsu like anime with Futo PI, the singular video I've done, so that doesn't really count. I would like to branch out to more from the big three, like SS Gridman, and the Dynazenon movie is coming out soon, and I've seen SS Gridman. I need to see Dynazenon, and I'm going to see that movie. So it would be kind of cool to do a video on that trilogy of sequels to a random Subaraya product from the whenever that came out. But as for other random toku, not indie toku specifically, I guess, but Metal Heroes, Dogengers is one I can think of. I would like to make videos on them, but I haven't seen those. I really should get into making shorter content for larger videos, because every time I make a video I'm I just end up going forever, or I feel like I have to end up going forever. But I really I want to give all my thoughts on a subject, but I could really do shorter movie reviews and just talk about a thing for 5 or 10 minutes or something, and then upload that as a video. Let me know if you would actually be interested in me doing stuff like that. Darth Wang asks, what is Bunny's favorite tokusatsu /show/hero/toy? I mean, I could tell you, but he could also tell you, but I don't know where he is. Oh!
Don't say my name?
Do you want to answer the question?
Yeah, okay. My favorite show is Kamen Rider Build, because it has my favorite hero, who is Kiryu Sento, because it has my favorite toy, which is the rabbit bottle thingy. I like the big rabbit form. It's a rabbit, and I'm a bunny, and bunnies are like rabbits, and bunny. Okay?
Okay, I guess I hope that answers the question. Thank you for joining us, Bunny.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
PMXM asks, which bike design from which Kamen Rider do I like the most? Before, I would have probably said Kamen Rider Laser, because it's part of X8, it's a dude. The yellow-pink is a pretty cool color scheme, but now I would say the Boost Striker from Kamen Rider Geats, because, I mean, its usage in the show is super interesting because it's not just a bike, it's attached to a power-up item in the show. So it makes it that much more special when it shows up. Not just because, hey, the bike is actually appearing in Kamen Rider, but it's hey, it's this big attack that multiple characters get to use. We get to see multiple characters use and ride the rider machine of the show. So that's amazing. So definitely Boost Striker. Samuel Little has a few questions. What is my favorite rider system? The Desire Driver system for Kamen Rider Geats. I love the mix and match stuff. What is my favorite toy gimmick? The Gashats from Kamen Rider X8, because I love the little music jingles and stuff they all do, and they also just look really cute and colorful. Which jingle do I like the most? The base Cross Saber jingle for the Hadouken Cross Saber from Kamen Rider Saber. And who, in my opinion, is the best purple rider? If he counts, I would say Genmu, because he has some purple on him. But if he doesn't count, then I'll say Buffa, because he is purple. And especially with recent episodes of Geats, like, he's getting really interesting. He has a really interesting story, so I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. Juan Don Nady asks, what are some tropes or recurring story elements that I wish Kamen Rider got rid of? This is a very easy answer for me. The main one is, I wish they get rid of that big status quo change thing they always do after like episode 15 or 16, around when the show ends for Christmas and the New Year break. And I like when shows can do big status quo changes, like, you know, very early on, because it makes it like ever changing. But then the result is like a lot of recent Rider seasons just feel very disjointed in terms of tone. Like, there's just so much stuff that happens like before the halfway point, and it's like, do we really need to do that? Where it's like Sentai and Ultraman, they don't really do that. Those shows don't really do their big status quo shift like only a couple episodes into the show. So it'd be kind of nice if Rider maybe move that a bit to like the middle of the show, so that we can actually have like a somewhat more consistent through line of the season that's not like flip-flopping over like all these different tones and ideas and all that kind of stuff. Jeremy Edwards asks, what's my favorite Power Rangers series? That would be Power Rangers Dino Thunder. I really like how they managed to make it like a tribute to Power Rangers overall, specifically MMPR, because we've got, you know, dinosaur suits, and we got Tommy Oliver back, and some of the characters pay homage. Like, the White Ranger plotline is kind of like Green with Evil, but now it's a different dude. But I'm not a huge MMPR fan, so what I like is at the same time, it's just a normal season of Power Rangers. Like, you don't need to know about the Green with Evil, like, kind of references to enjoy like the Dino Thunder White plotline. The characters are all perfectly fine on their own without like MMPR in context, especially Tommy. Like, we have Tommy in the show as a mentor ranger, and he gets a new ranger form, and that's like super cool. It's like, Tommy Oliver, he's back. May he rest in peace, Jason David Frank. You don't have to know he was Tommy Oliver in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He can still just be Dr. O turning into Dino Thunder Black, and he's got this history with the other characters, which isn't from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but it's just like that extra layer of, it's like he also has this other history where he was 4 different Power Rangers. So that's super cool. Nero Norancia asks if I am planning to cover Ultraman Decker at some point after watching Trigger, and would I like to review Trigger as well? Yes, I would like to review both of those at some point. Are you planning to watch Shin Ultraman and review it? Yes, I would like to watch Shin Ultraman at some point. I wasn't able to catch those theater releases that they did for it, so I may just wait to watch it. I hear they might do it in theaters again, so I'm gonna wait and see what happens with that. And then, what's my favorite Reiwa Kamen Rider songs, and how do I feel about Keiwa, as we see the episodes through more of Keiwa's perspective in the beginning of the show. I thought it was a really interesting twist for a Rider season, at least in recent years, to have like the main character not be the title character for some of it. I think that was fantastic. Reiwa Kamen Rider songs, I'll just give one from each of the Reiwa shows. For 01, it's the track that plays in the 01 Beyond No, Final No, first generation movie where he's fighting Ichigata. That's like a truly beautiful soundtrack. It's like awesome and like emotional at the same time, and I never see anyone talk about it. For Saber, it's Rewrite the Story, because that's my favorite insert song ever. For Revice, I go between Volcano, because it's really awesome, and Riot and Bloom is actually pretty awesome as well. I guess I'll have to go with Volcano, because it's very badass. And then for Geats, we don't really have any inserts yet, but the main Henshin theme for Geats is so cool. Like, the jazzy stuff part of it is also like pretty neat, but the beginning part with, like, I don't know how to describe it, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Like, the beat, the whole composition of that part is so unique for Kamen Rider, and I really love it. Black Eagles guy asks if I turned off the stove. I don't think I did. I'll be right back. Buster asks, what kind of Toei Tokusatsu fan club special would I like to see for past seasons? I guess this applies to Sentai and Rider as well. The Sentai part is pretty obvious. I'd like to see a Sentai special about Majin. I think for like the longest time I've been saying we can get like a Kamen Rider Majin special, and you can bring in Sabla, but you don't even have to make her Kamen Rider Majin. You could just do a Majin Sabla special, have the mother-daughter duo do, I don't know, they can fight Sonogo or something from donbrothers. They could, I don't know, just make them do whatever. Joshua Blaze asks if I'm going to see Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Yes, I am going to go see that, hopefully opening day, because if you didn't know, I am a huge Transformers fan. Before I got into Tokusatsu, my whole thing was Transformers, and I still really do love Transformers. I still keep up with the franchise and the toys and stuff. I'm not really that excited about it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not a huge Beast Wars guy, and the movie kind of looks a little bit generic for Transformers movies, like, oh, here's this ancient threat, Optimus, and you have to go fight the ancient threat. And I'm also not a huge fan of how we had this perfect Optimus Prime design in the Bumblebee movie, and then for some reason they changed it a bit in this movie, and it looks super ugly. I don't, like, it's all gray now, and G1 Optimus with the mouth plate removed and like this weird looking mouth is so cursed to me. Like, I'm perfectly fine with it on like the other iterations, like whenever they have, you know, you're used to him seeing the face. For this one, I'm used to seeing him with the mouth plate because that's how they had him in Bumblebee, and now he doesn't have a mouth plate, and it, I'm gonna go see it, but I'm not as excited as other people. And our Vox has a couple questions. How did I get into Toku, and how did I get into doing YouTube? So how did I get into Toku? I mean, I knew about Power Rangers for the longest time, at least forever, because I had Mystic Force toys, even though I wasn't watching Mystic Force. So I was aware of Power Rangers, but it was once Samurai dropped on Netflix. I had Netflix, so I was like, let me watch Power Rangers here on Netflix, and I was like, whoa, this is awesome! And I went and like watched a bunch of other seasons as well. So that's how I got into Power Rangers, and then from there I've discovered like Sentai and Rider from toy reviews. I thought it was Power Rangers at first. I was like, what is this weird Japanese Power Rangers like knockoff, I think I thought. And then around when Dino Charge was happening, that's when I realized that Kyoryuger was not a knockoff, it's what came first. So I was like, what? And then from there I got into Rider and Ultraman and all that stuff. How did I get into doing YouTube? It was years of watching Power Rangers and Rider and Sentai and having no friends that liked Power Rangers or Rider or Sentai. And after watching a lot of videos from people talking about Rider, Power Rangers, and Sentai, I was like, hey, I could try doing this. So I tried doing it, and I guess it was a successful try because I'm here over 5 years later. Now you can see my face. Now I consider this somewhat of a job. So thank you everyone for liking me talking about the stuff that I had no friends to talk about it with. And also thank you to my friends for, I mean, they weren't mean about it. They were very supportive about this. So I guess thank you everyone is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, there you go. And I think this is the last question from FNA Deca, which asks, what made me love Super Sentai or Tokusatsu in general in the first place? I like ending with these kinds of questions because it's a nice way to set the year. I love Tokusatsu mainly for like the unique action aspect of it. This, like, putting people in these different like crazy looking suits is just so cool to me. I love seeing all the different suits like that you can make and like how you can tie them to an aesthetic and stuff. And because of that, we have this like perfect action genre staple. You can pretty much watch any Tokusatsu and you're gonna get that special kind of look to it, whether it's a monster suit just destroying buildings or a monster suit fighting another monster suit or a dude in a different kind of suit. You're gonna get that unique visual style, which is what I personally love. So then you can watch it for the story as well. You know, it's like, I'm gonna go watch this because I know I'm gonna like the look of it, so maybe I can see if I'll like the story or the characters or whatever other elements of it as well. So I just really love like how we can tie this visual unique nature to like, you know, your standard storytelling, and it makes each other stand out really nicely. Thank you to EwinRacing for sponsoring today's video. As I mentioned at the beginning, as I'm sure you've noticed, I'm sitting in a brand new chair in this video that was provided to me by EwinRacing, and it's undeniably the best chair that I've ever sat in. Sounds like a weird way to describe something, but it's true. It is very comfortable. It's also really cool to just have a gaming chair like this, right? But you don't have to use it for gaming. Obviously, I'm using it to record my video, and it fits into my aesthetic. If you want your own chair, of course, there are plenty of different facts to know about them. Like, they're heavy duty and can hold up to 550 pounds. They've got multi-directional armrests, so you can put it in any which direction you want. And like any normal chair, you can adjust the angle of the chair, the height of the chair. And unlike other chairs, it's got glittering PU leather that is especially beautiful in the light, as you could probably tell throughout this video. You've also definitely noticed the footage of me building the chair in the background of this little segment. And as, you can see, you have to put the chair together, but it's not difficult at all. A lot of the parts are just snapping them together. Anything you do have to unscrew, they include the necessary equipment for you to unscrew it and screw it back together, and everything is detailed in instructions, so it's not like you're guessing where stuff goes. You are following an instruction sheet, putting together your chair, and it's actually really nice that you can do that because it gives you this satisfaction of putting together something that you're definitely going to be using all the time. Like now when I sit in my chair, I have the satisfaction of sitting in something that I put together, and I think that's just kind of a fun thing to think about in addition to just being comfortable sitting in a chair. If you're interested in your own chair, it is highly recommended from me that you go and get an EwinRacing chair. I will have a link in the description if you want to purchase your own, and don't forget when you go to checkout to use the code JUJUBE, where you can get 20% off your purchase of whatever chair you'd like. Oh, and of course, it would be horrible of me to forget to mention that they also have gaming desks. I didn't get a gaming desk, but there are gaming desks available, and my coupon will still apply to those desks. So if you want a desk, you can buy a desk or get a desk and a chair. The coupon will apply to both. But I got a chair, so I'm obviously going to talk up the chair that I got, but I'm sure the desk is as just high quality as the chair. Once again, thank you to EwinRacing for sponsoring today's video and providing me with the chair that I'll probably be continuing to use in plenty of my future videos. And with that, we've reached the end of the 2023 Q&A. So thank you guys for a wonderful 2022. I hope you enjoyed this beginning of the year Q&A, even if it's a little bit late. Once again, I apologize. And I hope you're looking forward to supporting me in the coming future in 2023. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed so you can keep up with all my future videos this year. Make sure you check out my Patreon. For only $2, you can get a ton of other extra stuff like this video early, or other little goodies. And above all, I just hope you have a wonderful year, and I hope to see you next time.